Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac, president of Roby Electric, along with Trent Haston, president and CEO of the Roby family of companies. Of course, we are your hosts. And Trent, we are now joined by Mr. Carl Howard from a business name in Charlotte that everybody's familiar with, Autobell.
What's the jingle? People can tell when you Autobell.
And people can tell that I have not Autobell.
Oh, Lord.
I need to get to Autobell. I go to the store on Central Avenue, and Carl, you guys have the best people. They're so friendly and so kind. I think they either remember my face or the big red circles on the side of my car, but they're always so welcoming and inviting. And I know that it has a lot to do with the culture that you help drive.
Yes, thank you for that compliment. It's very intentional, the type of people that we hire and how we train them to serve our customers. So it's nice that you recognize that.
So Carl, we've talked about this. The premise of our show is to have friends and family and customers that have cool stories. We're a family business. We're trying to keep the family business alive. We run our company like a family business. And we were just joking. I think we might have crossed each other's paths a couple times a decade or so ago. I was a young kid, but I met you. We've had Mike Griffin from the Griffin family and Griffin Brothers Tire and stuff like that.
Yep.
We've had him on the show. He's a dear friend of mine, and I think it was 3 years ago we went on a golf trip together and we met. And God bless Mike for putting us together. He thought we'd have a lot in common. I think he hit the nail on the head.
I think we talked about half the night too, didn't we?
Man, it was good time.
Yeah.
That's my favorite way to share business and
Yeah.
tell stories. But always revered your business, your family business. Even before we knew each other, the stories about how hard of a worker your father is and was.
And still is.
Right,
Yeah.
Exactly. It's kind of legendary in Charlotte, and I'm a big fan of fathers that work really hard.
Mm-hmm.
So, but just tell us a little bit about your history on your business, and it just means so much to Charlotte to have you guys based out of here.
Well, we started here in Charlotte back in 1969 with one location on South Boulevard. It's actually, that building itself is no longer there. We relocated that building about a block from where it was originally located. And we actually bought a big parcel there because our warehouse is back behind that store now, but it's between Woodlawn and Tyvola. And so that was in the late 60s. We started out as an exterior only car wash with high volume gasoline. So we sold gasoline that we pumped for the customer back in the late 60s. That's what you did. And we washed their car at a very low price, but in high volume. We didn't start out high volume. Back in those days, there wasn't a lot of car washing going on in Charlotte. And so we were a relatively new concept, and it took, a few months to get things ramped up. But when it finally did catch, it went well. And from then on, they built about one a year. And I say they, my grandfather and my dad. My dad was in college when they started, and when he graduated, he came on full time. And but yeah, they built one or so a year, and then that one there at now Charlottetown Avenue got renamed. Used to be South Independence for those who know Charlotte well, but there at 3rd and Charlottetown was our fourth one, and that one we did not build. We actually bought that. It was an existing car wash that got into trouble as far as how it was operated, and we turned that one around. And so anyway, we've been fortunate to be in Charlotte. Charlotte, we feel like we've kind of grown with Charlotte. Charlotte is still a growing and thriving place, and we feel very blessed to have been headquartered here for all these years and kind of participated in the growth. And now we're up to 77 full-service car washes in 5 states, and it's just been a great experience. I myself grew up in the business, started literally when I was 12 years old, wiping down cars, doing whatever I could do at that age, and so I've basically done every job in the retail side of our company.
Well, coming up through high school, I never did. I think my sports got in the way, and I had a family business that when I needed to work, I could go dig a ditch.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was like a cult. High school kids, or guys generally, when I was coming up, would work on Autobell.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
all
whole
my
group.
friends worked
I
there.
can bet.
Yeah, and we had a blast and we made money and it was a great summer job for all of us.
I mean, it is. I mean, washing cars is one of those things. It's kind of how you dress and how you appear. I mean, it tells a lot about you. I actually had an old neighbor. He's passed now. Kind of the millionaire next door growing up, and he had a reputation for being kind of hardcore. And he stopped me one day and he said, "You and your dad always have really clean trucks, and it says a lot about who you are." So.
I completely agree with that, Trent. In fact, my dad tells stories, and he was in business about how when they would interview a salesperson, he would kind of sneak around and go check out their vehicle to see if it was tidy and clean. If it was, then that sort of gave him a good feeling about the potential salesperson. If it was cluttered and dirty, then he sort of had this negative connotation about what kind of individual he was about to interview. So it does make a big difference. We talk about that with being in the service industry as well. Carl, people check us out quite a bit. And in fact, we were walking back. We met a new person here at WBT, and what did she say to us? Trent, I recognize your vehicles and see them everywhere.
Yep.
We
And
can only hope they're
if they're
clean.
dirty and
Yeah.
dented up and scratched up, then it's a bad presentation you're giving somebody. So
But the other thing that a lot of people don't think about, but you actually feel better
Right.
driving around in a clean, well-organized vehicle. You really do.
oh, I agree completely.
I feel like my car drives better after I go through the car wash. I know it's all mental, but you're exactly right. And Carl, so we're going down memory lane a little bit here, and I had a note here. In 1969, you charged $1.50 for a car wash and 50 cents for wax. I just pulled this off your website.
Yeah.
But I thought that's kind of cool to go back and basically what we're tipping these guys these days, and maybe I'm cheap, I should be tipping more.
You're tipping $1.50?
Come
Come on, dude.
Is what I
Really?
think we tip like 3 or 4
You pull
bucks.
out of there with the $68 car wash and give the guy $1.50 tip.
I give them 2.
Can't even get a Coke for that.
round it up to 70.
Poor guys. I didn't have people like you aren't how those kids make a lot of money. I do think they make a lot of money on tips when they do a good job, though.
They do,
Yeah.
and they make at least minimum when we start them out. So when you add it all together, it's a great income source for them. Especially the only downside I would say is weather. You get rainouts every now and then,
Right.
but they more than make up for it on those big Saturdays.
Do the nasty weather days help you on the next day, the first clear
Well,
day? Is that a stronger?
What it gives us an opportunity to do is check out our equipment, make sure everything's running right, and obviously we're a very equipment intensive business, so it gives us time to look at all those things and tend to the maintenance that needs to be done.
Now you have the Auto Bell branded car wash
Mm-hmm.
that has your equipment in it, and then you also broker equipment out. Am I saying this correctly?
So we don't manufacture, although we do a little bit here and there, but no, we sell Hanna equipment, which is manufactured out of Houston. So that's what's in our car washes, and we also sell that equipment. We're a distributor up and down the East Coast, really, from Pennsylvania down to Savannah, Georgia. So that's also a pretty good chunk of business.
So the independent type car washes will buy from you as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, he's got his hands,
He
his
does.
fingers.
Vertical integration right
I was
there.
about to say it's vertical integration.
Yeah.
Things we try to do over here very similar. You try to figure out how you can bolt on wins
Yeah.
for your company,
Absolutely.
and what it does is it allows you to hire more people, feed families, and give people careers.
Mhm.
So, and I have a friend that I grew up with. His little brother, randomly, I think he runs your Charlottetown wash, correct? Adam?
You talking about Adam?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was getting my car washed there one day. He come up and talked to me, and he's worked for you for over a decade, I know. And it's just really cool to see the other side of the fence when you're not standing here with me, and I go, "Hey, I'm really good friends with Carl," and he sings the praises about the business, kind of like what they say about you behind the curtain, you know. So
Well, we have a lot of longtime loyal folks. It's like you say, so we have family, like blood family in the business, but we look at all of our, especially our long-term employees, as part of the family, and a lot of the decisions that we make, based on, the way we compensate people and the way we provide benefits and things like that are based on that family type atmosphere,
Mm-hmm.
and so we do things differently than
Yep.
than a lot of other companies would.
Okay, we got to go to a break. Can you stick around for another segment with us?
Absolutely.
Learn a little more about Carl and Auto Bill. We'll be right back.